If God can love me. Happy Monday and happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. For many of us, it's a day for us to challenge ourselves, and for others, it's a day to get on a soapbox, and for others, it's just a day to hide. As I've looked through things that people have posted today, I just am reminded that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how loud you scream on a holiday if the rest of the year you aren't living out the things that you say you believe. It really is time for us to examine our hearts and see what's there. Especially, I'm talking to followers of Jesus. It's so easy to get trapped in thinking in ways that are not Christ-like at all. And so I was brought to a scripture that it's 2 Corinthians chapter 5. This verse, every time I open this page in the Bible, it's like this verse just jumps out at me from the pages. And it says this: so from now on, we regard no one from a worldly point of view. Paul is writing, and he said, I used to look at Jesus this way. I used to look at Jesus from a worldly point of view. I saw him as a teacher, a troublemaker, a rebel, somebody who was changing society. And I saw him from that worldly point of view and completely missed the spiritual aspect of his life. And it's probably true for all of us, even those of us who have been Christians our whole lives, those of us who were brought up in church, probably at some point have said, Jesus just seems so far away. And we look at him in a way that diminishes what he really is about. This is what he says. From now on, we don't regard anybody this way, not just Jesus, but we don't look at anybody from a worldly point of view, because Jesus loved us and died for us, and we've been reconciled to God through him. And because of that, we don't look at anybody else from this worldly point of view either. It doesn't matter their race, it doesn't matter their political affiliation, it doesn't matter their nationality or their gender or anything. We're not looking at anybody through the eyes of the world anymore. He says that what we are about now, since we've been reconciled to God, is that we look at people through spiritual eyes, and our entire mission is to see that person's life redeemed, to see that person reconciled to God through Christ. We're not looking at people just for what they believe or what they can give us or what we can wring out of them. We're looking at people as human beings who are loved by God. And do you know what the basis of this is? What he says right here in this verse. He says, Christ's love compels us, because we're convinced that he died for all. There's not one person outside of God's love, not one person outside of his care. There's not one person, even the person that you would put on the top of your hit list. There's not one person that God doesn't love that's outside of that. But Christ's love compels us now, because the reason I'm convinced that he loves everybody is because he loves me. And I know me. If God can love me, God can love anybody. And if God can love me, I can love anybody. So I'm going to stop looking at people politically or socially. I'm going to look at people as Jesus looks at them. And Jesus is looking at them. Jesus is looking at you and me with his arms open, welcoming us into his family. Lord, give me eyes to see as you see. Help me not miss one person. Help me not hate one person or despise or use one person, but to daily reach out in love to draw them the way you do. Thank you for loving me.